Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So,
All praises are due to Allah, and we send blessings and peace upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his family and the companions and all the righteous servants of Allah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
Ameen.
Amen. So welcome to today's show. It's been a couple weeks since we last seen everybody. So welcome back. And today's show, we're going to cover a few things. So the main topic that we were going to discuss was sihr, or magic. But we decided to add a few things in that kind of came up over the past couple of weeks. So we're going to start off talking about magic, but we're not going to spend too much time on it, besides just letting people know that it's haram, according to the ayat in the Holy Quran, where it's in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 102. And we all should be familiar with this, where the ayat starts talking about the Jewish, the Bani Israel that falsely accused Prophet Sulaiman of performing magic, and Allah clears his record and confirms that he did not practice magic. And then he talks about the two angels that were sent down here to teach us magic, and if anybody learns it or practices it, it's unanimous that it's disbelief. It's kufr, right? So we're not allowed to practice magic. In the context of TMOA, it is very, very clear that not only has their previous sheikh, Mubarak Jalani, dealt in magic, he also taught people magic. He also gave people these, what he would call prescriptions, that is clear magic. And we know this because, one, we have the whole amulets, hanging them up in the windows, and people wearing these different like notches or different things around their necks, around their arms, different rituals that are done supposedly for protections. But the clearest thing, and we've had multiple reports of people saying this, is, where people go to him for like specifically helps with like pregnancies, to protect from like miscarriages or whatever. And part of the thing that he's been giving a lot of people is this practice of tying knots, taking strings, tying knots, blowing into them as some sort of protection. And this is clear witchcraft. We have Surah Falak, where we actually seek refuge from the people that blow into knots. And there's actually a hadith in Nasa'i where Rasulullah said, and it's related by Abu Huraira, who said, whoever ties a knot and blows on it, he has practiced magic. And whoever practices magic, he has committed shirk. And whoever hangs up something as an amulet will be entrusted to it. Basically, like that's going to be your protection, not Allah, which means you have no protection. So we don't have to spend too much time on this, but it's very clear. And for the people that are still like hanging on to this cult thing in TMOA, and these practices still may be occurring, don't do it. Don't do it. Go to Allah. Don't seek any of these protections. Allah is sufficient as a protector for you. And I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that or bring up any other examples that you might be aware of.
No, you pretty much covered it all, Jaffer. From the notches you have to do every year to writing these different ayahs at specific amount of times, just randomly. This is common occurrence, common theme for the Jamaat. So no one can say that like this didn't happen, because everyone I knew during my time in the Jamaat had to do notches. And everything of the sort. They have to hang up his photo, like just different things for protection, how it's gonna save you from the dunya. So I mean, no one can deny these things.
Yeah, and the thing is We take our religion, of course, from the Quran and the Sunnah, and you will never find, at least, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, and we will make a retraction and clarification if needed. But I don't know that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave any sort of elaborate, long drawn out step by step, using items and different sort of type of things to help you, get some assistance or help from Allah. Like you didn't get us to use ropes and strings and all types of different things like that. I mean, so this is not part of the Sunnah. And if someone can show it to us, we'd be happy to look at it. But it's not part of the Sunnah. And you would look at all the things that when Rasulullah, when people were having ailments or when people were having different things, it was things that, he himself physically did, or said himself, but it was never like these elaborate things. With and one of the signs of magic is usually all types of extra added in stuff that's not part of any authentic narrations of Sunnah. And also maybe firstly, but just so that I will end off with this little part, is that what Allah says, if you are, usually people go to magic, right? Anybody who resorts to, and unfortunately, a lot of people in the Muslim world, I say people in the Muslim world because just like Jafar said, the person who practices magic, has committed, shirk, it's kufr. So you're exiting from Islam when you are practicing and believing in, the magic over this. So, but a lot of people in the Muslim world have this issue with, they want to marry someone, so they they deliberately go to the magician and have them help them with, casting a spell or having them become infatuated with them, or they want to break up husband and wife or different things like that. But for us Muslims, if we believe in, Allah, listen to what Allah says. Allah actually says in Surah Al-Baqarah, I can't remember the ayah number, but what does Allah say? وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. That Allah says that if you have some distraction here, sorry. Allah says that when they ask about me, he's talking to Rasulullah, when they ask about me, وإذا سألك عني وإذا سألك عبادي عني, when my slaves ask about me, فإني قريب, I am near. Ujibu da'wat ad-da'i idha da'an. I answer. Allah is saying that He answers the call of the caller as soon as they call. So Allah is telling you directly, you don't need magic. You don't even need a third party. You don't even need to go to some holy person or some pious person, some saint. You don't need to use an idol. You don't need to use anything. No magic is necessary. Allah is telling you directly. You can ask Him directly, and Allah is saying that He will answer you. So, فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي. So then you should respond to Allah. How? وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي. Allah is saying then believe in Him. And part of that belief in Him is not believing and practicing magic. That's part of it. So لَعَلَهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ, so that you would be rightly guided. So if anybody is thinking somehow, I don't know how you would be able to, especially if you pay attention to this show over the years. If anybody is still somehow, some way believing or hoping or practicing some sort of magic or thinking that it's okay or someone, leave it altogether. We've given lots of proofs and evidences, and Allah is saying that you can call on Him directly and He will respond to you. So no one is going to be able to do more for you in a better way than Allah is able to. So go directly to the source and leave the magic for the kuffar, because those are the people who do magic. And
I'll just read off real quick. I pulled up something from the Islamic Q&A website about signs of magic, and it's just, they got 8 signs. One is dislike of one's spouse, as indicated in the Quran. That's like one of the main types of magic to separate spouses, break up marriages. Number 2 is a different attitude in the house from that which is outside the house. For example, a person will feel that he is missing his family when it's outside the house, but when he's home, love changes quickly to extreme hatred. So basically bipolar type of behavior, inability to have sexual intercourse with one spouse. Again, you see how this is like stuff to break up
the marriages, yeah.
families, right? Frequent miscarriages for pregnant women, sudden change in behavior without obvious reasons, complete loss of appetite for food, thinking or imagining one has done something when in reality one has not. Someone must have hit Mubarak Jelani up with magic because he had a lot of vivid imagination on some stuff. Sudden obedience or love for a particular person. So yeah, so you can see if people have their eyes open, you can see a lot of this stuff happening in these cults. And again, for one of the things too I want to mention, especially coming from these types of backgrounds, is people are really scared of like evil eye, magic, jinns, anything superstitious, where it's like they actually have a real phobia of it.
Yeah.
And as Muslims, we acknowledge that these things are real. We do take our precautions as far as protecting ourselves. And to sum it up, the best way to protect ourselves is to be the best Muslims we can be in fear of Allah. But the more you fear this type of stuff, the more you actually open yourself up to it, to it actually affecting you. So fear Allah against what some cult leaders say when they say actually fear them. No, don't fear them. Fear Allah and only fear Allah. You should be good, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I think the next thing we're going to talk about is, I believe it's about the new imam of TMOA, Noor, is on the money hunt again.
Sir, shake lipstick. Yes, sir. All right.
She's, mind you, people, when you listen to this, just don't forget the fact Noor is a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-millionaire. She's not like, she got $1 million. She's a multi-millionaire, millions of dollars. And please immediately raise $25,000 for the acronym team, since you all allow the community not to.
Wait.
I missed that part. The first time.
How is it that you all allow this when she's in charge? What is she doing? You are the head, like Team Away is about like the progressive female empowerment movement. All right. Noor is the new progressive leader hire. All right. She's in charge. How are you doing bad at your job? Because your husband made sure that y'all got paid. So what are you doing?
I wonder where this message, where came, who she's, because to me, I get the impression that she's sending it to one of her henchmen or hench ladies. Mm-hmm. Since you all are not collecting the money, make sure there's more money for our little team that's over here.
Yeah.
Look how much money they've raised so far and alhamdulillah, that looks like they started doing some good over there, or whatever what they're doing. But how much money have you guys raised for these photo ops when you could have just gave this money to the people that are actually over there doing
the local
stuff?
communities? Yeah.
Let's not forget that they also were trying to raise $250,000 for the first phase of a shrine.
Mm-hmm.
A shirk shrine. They also raised. Hold up. Take that money from that bootleg school, and because in this message, not to jump ahead, but it says there's no money available to run the Jamaat. Well, you don't even have money available to run the Jamaat. How are you trying to start a school and raising money? I mean, you
wait a minute, wait. So let's break it down. We need $25,000 immediately for the AMMR team, even though you guys don't have money to run the Jamaat.
Yes.
I don't give a F what y'all do.
I need
money for these people over here.
The irony. No, the launch good for the school got $75K a year ago. Where did it go? Did you just mismanage those funds already? And then you got $5K again from the second phase of the school, which again, no one has contacted me and sent me the syllabus yet. So I'm going to assume that nothing's going on for that school. All right. So
I mean, it's an online and it's online too. So, I mean, basically y'all paid $75,000 for a couple PDFs and a website, because I mean that
Y'all get scammed, bro. Oh,
And then
y'all
you'll
law.
crash. Oh my goodness.
I mean this, so I'm sure, hold up, since right now they did raise the 75 grand and there's nothing to show for it. So I'm sure either y'all embezzled the money, took it, and someone ran off with it, or you still have the money, but you haven't used it yet, but you're planning on raising some more, whatever you're trying to do. So take that money that you raised for the school, run your Jamaat, run your community with it, so that your community can thrive and the people can actually be functioning enough to then pay money. That's how running a community or a business or a family works. First, you take care of your bills. You take care of the things you need to function, right? So you're not going to, like, if your car needs an oil change or you have a cable subscription, you're going to pay the oil change because you need that to keep going back and forth to work. So it looks like y'all priorities are way out of whack. You raised money for all types of different things and literally waited until this joint says there's no money available to run and maintain.
Not a single penny, man. Oh, y'all law.
This just cracks me up. But you know what? We're gonna see in about 3 or 4 months, we're gonna see a lot of people with the same mentality of the TMOA leadership. You're gonna see people leaving Walmart with bicycles with big flat screen TVs strapped on the back.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't buy a car. They didn't do it. They wanted to get that flat. This is what they're doing, because you have $25,000. Basically, what it is to host these people that are basically hanging out in Pakistan and doing this little relief stuff. You know, may Allah reward them for whatever good they are doing. But $25,000, not money to run the basic bills so y'all can function and live over here. So y'all masjids can have electricity. So y'all masjids can have heat. Winter's coming up, right? So y'all can take care of the poor families, the widows and single mothers and all the other people that need help in your community. And whatever other basic expenses you guys have, it's like, no, forget all that. We don't have money for that, but come up with $24,000 more, even though I have millions.
Yeah.
Well, not forget that. Even though I have millions of dollars at my disposal, you guys raised $25,000 so I could feed your people.
Take that watch that old girl was flashing in the video, in the picture. Take that watch and sell it. I mean, I don't know how much. I don't know if it was even expensive watch.
Fake.
Yeah, fake. But go ahead and sell that joint, and maybe you would be closer to your goal. But I mean, it's really. I know we kind of make a little bit light of it, but really a serious situation. I mean, if you have people who are, they're stuck spiritually. Some people are stuck socially. Some people are stuck emotionally. Some people are stuck in different ways. But for those people that are like, I mean, they ain't really that down with the Seven Sultan Joan. And they ain't really that down with even some people ain't even all that big about Jelani, but this is their group. This is their people. I mean, right now, you're hanging on to something that literally, and what was somebody had a comment or whatever about how 40 years of the fruits of 40 years of nurturing, whatever he said. I don't even remember the quote, but I'm like, okay, 40 years later, 40 years of guidance from a perfect guide, a perfect Murshid Kamil who literally took your hand and showed you exactly where to go. And here we are 40 years later, and literally the leader is saying there's not even a penny available. I mean, literally, they ran AP's pockets and nothing was there.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I'm just thinking about this because because I used to run, I set up the back when I was on the Juice, I set up the channel and put all of Mubarak Jelani's discourses on there, every single one, and that was up for years, and it's really amazing that we have had, like, I can't even put a number on it, so much more viewership on our channel by TMOA members and people that actually watched his stuff. Like we get more views than he's ever gotten when his stuff was up there. So it is funny because like you mentioned the Seven Sultan thing, like I don't even think that's a thing anymore because you don't hear anybody saying, "Oh yes, R6 Sultan." They just all right. Well, he ain't a Sultan. We ain't believe in that, but we'll just keep calling him a Murshid now.
Yes.
Like they just gave up on it. Like
His
But you know
eminence.
what? Yeah, the sad thing about it. Well, I don't know if it's sad. It actually is sad, but for us, it's like, all right, they can try to just be quiet about it, act like it went away, just like when we used to be doing, maneuvers in the woods, and it was a jihadi jamaat and everything or whatever, and then they just kind of like just stopped talking about it and thought it would go away. It didn't go away, but now it's like, yo, we have the receipts. We actually have the video of the boy getting the turban wrapped and people chanting in what the Seven Sultan ceremony.
Yep.
So y'all can try to not mention it no more. After Jafar basically gave you the whole, like, literally eviscerated it, Joan. I mean, this was even back in 2018, 17, or whatever. I mean, he already did that, Joan. But now they're like, all right, they done literally just eviscerated that, Joan. So let's just not mention it. The problem is we still have the tape. I mean, so I mean, you just gonna just pretend that it doesn't exist?
It's all fine.
You have to actually say, yo, this is not part of Islam. We were wrong. And there actually in Surah Al-Baqarah, there is an ayah about that the people who lead people astray, what you have to do is actually make it clear, make the correct way clear to people. So you can't just be quiet about it and be like, oh, well, let's just pretend it doesn't exist. It does exist. You ran on it for a long time, 40 years. 40 years later, not only did the Seven Sultan Aqidah concept, at least in TMOA, go bankrupt and broke, and now everybody's kind of left it, but your funding has also done the same thing. So your Aqidah is trashed, and your bank account is trashed. I mean, I don't know what's left.
I don't know whether I'm gonna feel sad or probably a little both. I'll feel bad for people naturally because you don't want to see people like suffer and families go through certain types of hardships, especially people that are just ignorant to stuff. But there is, I hope Allah allows us to see the point when all this stuff just starts crashing down and we're looking in a newspaper and we're seeing Islamberg up for auction. And if we could raise the money to buy
man.
I mean, that would be hilarious. But I mean, this is where it's going to. Like, we heard it back with K2's slap video. People were asking about the money. People don't worry about where the money goes. And most of them who had common sense were like, all right, well, I'm going to worry about what I do with my money, and I won't worry about where it's going because it's not going to you anymore.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They were running on fear, emotion. It was never run on some sort of love and compassion. That was baloney, man. The only reason why I ever paid any dues is because I thought I was going to get kicked out. That's the only reason. I didn't pay it because I needed to. I mean, I had a brother almost every time I got paid or when I came to the land was like, yo, if you don't pay your dues, we're kicking you out. And I'm like, dang, I got to pay my dues.
Oh my God. They had us paying dues for the world's worst club. Like that was the world's worst country club of all time. Like you got crappy roads, terrible food, maggots, rats, it just, oh yeah, Allah.
It was really like one of those, you know how they send those, like they do it in high school and they do it in college. They send like those honor society things.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got good grades. You can, pay this fee. You can be part of this.
Phi Beta Kappa. It's like, I'm good. What the hell's wrong with you? I'm not doing this
that's
trash.
Pretty much what it is. You just get like a fly. Oh yeah, you're part of this club now, and that's it.
Yep. The Kappas.
But hey, yo, you know something? Like, we get serious for a moment. Let's get serious for a minute. I mean,
I said serious laughing beauty, but oh yeah, well, Smith Bark is a menace, Jack. I don't think I understand. Smith Shaking Bark, bro, a menace. Oh yeah, Allah.
Okay, seriously. All right. I mean, since y'all are broke and since y'all have no money, I mean, she said we have no money to run the Jamaat. That means like the Jamaat, I mean, people were depending on the Jamaat to, you know, help them with their lives and daily expenses, or, you know, whatever management. I don't know. But seriously, R2F has funds that is available for those in need. Zakat eligible people, even if they're in TMOA, you can, and seriously, jokes aside, you can contact us via email or via the various social medias things, or, you know, if you have our contact numbers directly, you can contact us. You will have to fill out an application and explain the situation, and we do have funds that are available. They're available for those people who are zakat eligible and are in need. And so Noor, you can fill out an application, explain the situation as far as if you are in need of money. I mean, they say that you have money, but I mean, if you are representing, you're representing all these men and strong, you know, young men, old men, and all these men that you are leading. But if these men are not able to make ends meet, and you as their leader need to you know, help them to fill out an application, because you're already leading them. But if you need to help them to fill out an application for some zakat eligible funds, then go ahead and email us, and we will have, we don't do it. We actually have a team of people who, you know, review that independently. We're not the ones who make any decisions on whether money goes out and who it goes to. We don't do that. We don't actually have a part in that. But seriously, anyone can fill out application, request the funds, and that the team will look at it, and they will get the funds to you.
And this is a good time to bring up the other, like, so we have this available, and we know that some people are stuck in the cult for fear of, they don't think there's like no way they can survive leaving, whether it's a husband, a child, a spouse. The last thing that we want to see is for families to break up. But the reality of the situation is that we have people that are like, I don't believe in this anymore. And whether it's a husband, a wife, a child, a parent staying with children, you know, we have these situations, and people are afraid to really commit to like what they know the truth is. And I don't have the support because it just came to my mind, but one of the things that we're supposed to make dua for is like independence. Because like when we're dependent on people, and we don't have money, we don't have, that can make someone apostate, like not having food, not having, like, that's one of the things that we have to protect ourselves from. So that's a real thing. We have services available. We have houses that people can live in to get on their feet, to start their new life outside of the cult. We have funds available to help you feed yourself and your children. We have resources available to help that deal with, like, if there's any type of family court situations. We have people that's been through the same things. They can give advice. And so don't be afraid. Remember, Allah's going to make a way for you to come closer to him. Remember, it's like there's a hadith, you take one step and Allah takes 10 steps, right? And the one hadith I wanted to mention real quick in reference to Noor being very wealthy and asking for money. And every time I think of the leaders of TMOA asking their poor followers for money, I just think of it as begging. And this is the hadith that comes to mind every time this comes up. And it's recorded in Sahih Muslim, and it's from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, who said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever begs people for wealth in order to accumulate more riches, he is only asking for a hot coal from hellfire. Let him ask for a little or a lot. And just, that's a hot coal from the hellfire. We know that the lightest fire in hell, the lightest punishment in hell, is where someone's given a sandal of hellfire, and it's so hot it boils their brains. So like, just think about this when, you know, especially Noor, the Jazalani family, you guys are, we know you guys listen to this, you have millions of dollars and you're begging poor people for more money because you don't want, either is to add to your money or you don't want to lose any of your money that you got from them in the first place. Just think about that.
Yeah, and let's let's make 2 quick points. One is that even if, let's just say, Noor is saying, well, it's my money. I didn't steal it. I didn't make a fake will. I didn't do any of that. Okay, I earned it fair and square, whatever. All right. Go ahead and give them that 25 grand or whatever money they need, because I mean, if it's charity, if you give it as charity, and Rasul said that charity does not decrease wealth. So don't even worry about it. Your wealth will not be decreased by giving that money. And that's easy for you to do, inshallah, if you still have some of the money. The other thing is, when Noor is saying that there is no money available to run the Jamaat, those people who collect the money, let me talk to those people for a second, because when you collect that money, if you take that money and send it past the doors of people right there in your community that needs help, then the sin will be on you. Because you are taking, you're going against the hadith of Rasulullah. It said the charity starts in the home and then it goes out like this in a circular manner. So those people who are closest to you are more deserving of your excess wealth. And Rasulullah even was almost to the point where Jibril alayhi salam was urging and was telling Rasulullah about the rights of the neighbor and how much rights they had over a person, a Muslim, that he thought that the neighbor would be given a share of inheritance. Just like I'm sure that that we're familiar with, because of the inheritance dispute, that the inheritance is a law given by Allah, that each person who Allah has stipulated gets a portion of the inheritance. Jibril, Rasulullah thought that would be a law, that the neighbor would get a portion of the inheritance from Allah. That's how serious it was, that how you should be looking out for your neighbor. No one truly believes, let me not try to quote the hadith because I don't have it in front of me, but the person who goes to sleep while their neighbor is hungry, right? And you can even extrapolate that and think of it while your neighbor is in need. So for instance, your home is heated and nice and comfortable, and your neighbor has no heat, or in freezing cold or whatever it might be. That's the same as you eating and your neighbor being hungry. If your neighbor is in need and you are fine and you're not even having concern, let alone to offer them some sort of assistance. But if you are collecting money here within your community, and then you are sending it out somewhere else while your neighbor is in need, whether they're in food or necessities, things needed for daily living, and you're not you're not giving that money to your neighbor or the people in your community, then the sin of that is on you, and Allah knows best.
There was I was just listening to a lecture on oppression, and wish I had the notes in front of me, but one of the ways that leaders oppress the people, and the teacher mentioned specifically about taking money from the people and not spending it on the people's needs. And that's exactly what's happening. I remember you mentioned, like, when you were in that position, you actually got removed from your position because you were actually spending it on the people.
Yep. As soon as we did it, that was like, they didn't even talk to us. They just was like, yeah, we putting these old dudes back in charge. The yes men that they had before, that they fired. They literally fired these same dudes because they wasn't collecting enough money. We were collecting the money, but we were spending it on the people. Like we were putting it right back into the community, and that was not acceptable. And
they're also having this weekend, there's like some kind of fundraiser soccer tournament or something for who knows what else they're raising money for. Oh yeah, so you already got it. Another
$5,000. Yes. So she's trying to raise money for the Hassonville Winter Soldiers. All right, donate today, Team Canada. Even though Chancellor Sakina to October 22nd to 23rd. So she's trying to raise $25K here. All right. She's selling books here, obviously, because got to keep the family business up.
Let's buy the
elixir of life
book.
And then we have.
Wait, is that your Umi's name on there?
Yes, right here. I remember having to work on this book also. Listen, The Zavia Books printing press that ran in my house for my like 14 years was so terrible, bro. Oh my god, I hated that every day. Just hearing.
we're looking at the printed press right now. Right?
Oh my god, it was. Listen, it wasn't the play. All right, so, God, nothing I hated about the Jamaat was having to print those books. Confessions of a British Spy. Oh God, I hate
all the Jamaat lexicon is all just
garbage. Yes,
fabrications, story time.
it's
But anyway, so
yeah, so she's trying to raise money once again after she raised money. Hold on, go back. She raised money, got 5K here for the school. They didn't pan out. So alhamdulillah, it seems like for the most part a lot of people have waken up and seeing that this is, I mean, woken up and seeing that this is like just complete utter BS. Because a year ago at this time, y'all were at 75K, right? For the same school, right? Like this school right here, this is the same school right here, and you guys are, alhamdulillah, you guys say, listen, it's 70K less, not this time, all right? But I don't know how long.
They need, so like that 75K came right along with, like, you know, their sheikh passed away.
Yeah,
Norris coming in, everybody's trying to like be reinvigorated. We already know how that goes. That lasts for a little bit, then it dies down. So they need another spark, they need another juice. So I think it's about time that the seventh Sultan step up and claim the throne. And maybe we can let's look at some of his content that he's all right. So he's starting to come out of the woodwork.
The seventh Sultan of Fukr, and also the Mahdi, all right, Imam Mahdi that we all waiting for. That Mubarak Jilani said about like 30 years ago that he bet him he's about to be 30 years old or something like that. He's not there yet, all right. But also my job is harder than his job is, all right. So don't ever get confused, all right. So he was talking about his son, obviously, who is the Mahdi, according to Mubarak Jilani. And so let's watch a video here from Noor Gardner. Oh wait, I probably didn't share the video. Hold on, I got you. Yeah.
When I was watching these, it was just like, oh my goodness.
I haven't even watched these yet because I was like,
you haven't? Oh, you're
because I know we're gonna watch another show, so it's like I'm just gonna wait until we watch it on the show and go from there. Okay.
A while ago, I was having a conversation with my mom or dad. I do not remember.
Same person.
The Muslims nowadays, what's happening? Syria, Palestine, Kashmir, all these Muslims being killed, butchered, raped, and just dehumanized, like treated like worse than animals. And I was like, why is it like this? Like, isn't Allah gonna send someone to help these people out? What are the leaders doing? And basically, the thing about leaders is either one of my parents told me. They said that Allah blesses a community with leaders that are how do I say it? How do I put it together? Basically, if the members of the community are corrupt, bad, immoral, they're going to get immoral, bad, corrupt leaders. If the members of the community or country or whatever, they're good, they're pious, they're humble, they're courageous, they're gonna get a courageous, pious, humble leader. So right now, all of these Muslims, all of us, not these Muslims, all of us Muslims are like complaining, oh, all these corrupt leaders, look at them while they party and just enjoy life while all these poor other Muslims, poor Syrians and Kashmiris are being killed. The thing is, the leaders are just like the common people. The common people party, smoke, drink, Muslims, and do all types of immoral stuff. Thus, they have a immoral leader. So I think the first step towards, getting freedom for Kashmiris, were just sad, really sad, how people ignore them. The first step is to improve ourselves, become better human beings, following the Sharia, Islam. I'm not no A1 top shop Muslim, right? I'm just a regular trying to be. We're always trying to striving to be better than we already are.
Oh,
But
Lord.
I think the solution is within ourselves. The solution is to fix ourselves. Once we fix ourselves, our leaders will be fixed automatically or relatively. I don't know, just peace of mind. Anyways, cheers, legends.
Okay. That was an awful video. That video was like top one worst video of all time. First of all, this notion that he has about like if the human beings are bad, the people are bad, then they won't have good leaders. If you know anything about Islam, right? Prophet Muhammad SAW came to the worst of human beings, right? The Arabs at the time were burying their daughters. They had idols inside of the Kaaba, and he came to guide them from all of that. So this idea that you have to be good people to have a good leader, none of that is true. And you're asking where is
technically, actually, there is some support Islamically for what he's saying. Maybe not exactly how he's saying it, but the leadership is a reflection of the people. So the people will produce, the people are going to be a reflection of their leader. See, when Rasulullah was, when he became the messenger, when he started to give da'wah, he wasn't their leader. He was the leader of the people who followed him, then were their leader, and they were very good people.
Yeah.
And so they were a reflection of his leadership, and he was a reflection of them as followers. Now the Quraysh, they didn't take him as their leader, and they were bad. And so as his followers grew, I mean, they were a reflection. Allah says they were the greatest, they were the best ummah raised up from mankind, and we are a descendants in a way of them. So he's not completely wrong as far as that is concerned. But when he says that he's not an A1 top shop Muslim, and okay, I believe him. I believe him when he says that. And I think that's sincere. I think he was sincere. It appears that he was speaking from his heart, and even though maybe he had some limitations in his use of any ahadith or any ayat from Quran or anything like that. But when he says he's not an A1 top shop Muslim, I'm sure the diehards can, the TMWay, you know, lifers, loyalists, Seven Sultaniya, they should be able to know that something is wrong here. The Seven Sultan and, you know, alleged Mahdi says, yo, I'm not even a good Muslim.
I have a question. Isn't it like a thing that the Mahdi is like not gonna be that good of a Muslim until one day he just changes around and he becomes like well,
it's not. They don't say whether he's like. He's not going to be like a super scholar knowledgeable, but he
there you go, Noor.
But
the hadith say that
the contradiction of the seven sultan is, according to Sultan Bahu, the seven sultans are always one with Allah and all this other stuff that goes with it. So there's no point in their lives that they're not in direct connection with Allah. So someone that's supposedly in direct connection with Allah and saying, yeah, I'm not A1 top shop Muslim. You are supposed to be that nigga. You are supposed to be that guy. You were created 70,000 years before creation.
Yeah.
What are all these people waiting for? Allegedly to your father, they're waiting for you.
Oh my God. This is who y'all waiting for, bro? Oh my God.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the you know, he is their leader. They dubbed him. We saw the video. Bro. I mean, that's what when I saw the video, he just like going through the motions. It's like he knows it just this ain't it. But they was like, yeah, get in here and let us wrap this turban on your head. Don't ask no question. You don't need to worry about, what all this is, whatever. He admits, listen, I'm not even really practicing like that. And so for him, there's no problem. But from what he's saying is that, he's trying to get better. Okay, alhamdulillah, we all are the same way. We're not claiming to be A1 top shop Muslims. We're our
Right.
students and we're trying to get better. But we also ain't claiming to be no Mujaddid of the century and a seven sultan and somebody who's, you know, a guidance for mankind. So when you dub someone that, he better be an A1 top shop Muslim, whatever
Yeah.
that means. But he better be really good, and he better, have some Islamic backing. But he clearly is saying, I don't have it. I don't
And I
have
hope
it.
I hope he this sincere, because it seems like he means well, and it just, you could tell he doesn't know anything. He doesn't even know his father's teachings. He
Yeah.
doesn't even know about like the beliefs and the teachings of the cult that he's supposed to be in training to take over. That's why his mother's the leader. And the question that kept popping into my head was with this whole idea of like, you know, you get the types of leaders that your people are. Again, we've been asking this for months now. What type of people are TMOA that your leader is Noor? What does that say about your community? Because so who's, and again, so he's, and at one point he said, our leaders. Okay, Noor, who's your leader? Who's your imam? Who's your sheikh or sheikha? Is it your umi? Is that it? You know, it's just a lot of questions that come out from this. I hope he has the strength to keep on learning and learning authentic Islam. Like he mentioned, following Sharia, you know, the stuff he's saying isn't really wrong, but it's wrong in the context of TMOA and exposes a lot of falsehood. And, you know, like we said, when we were talking about this a little bit earlier, it's like all you people in TMOA, and we'll have time to look at maybe a couple other more videos. When you watch these, look at this kid, right? And was it worth it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Was it worth it for you to spend 40 years of your life breaking up families, some of you murdering people, sending all of your thousands and thousands of dollars over to Pakistan, shunning people, cutting off friends, committing crimes, living in trailers, living in tents, all these different things you've done was for this guy. You're waiting for this. This is the guy you're waiting for. Was it worth it? Like, look at this. Like, you know, it's very clear that he's just a regular human being, a regular Muslim that's just, and a regular, and I will say it, an ignorant Muslim, doesn't know much. He couldn't even quote his father or his mother. No, my mother or my father or somebody said something about something, you know, about whatever. And you'll see more with these videos that we check. He's a regular person like all the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, he's 7 of 7. He's the final boss. He's the top level. I mean, he literally is, according to y'all, a culmination of this whole thing. He's the last one, the 7th. I mean, this is it.
Yep.
We're almost done.
Oh yeah.
Well, he has a few more videos. Let's check out another one.
Do you want to watch the video that's 6 minutes long? Because I don't really want to watch that video.
No. Maybe we could just click through a couple and.
All right, we'll watch his 15 minutes, 15-second videos. You guys here.
Is you to be a con man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
definition. A man who cheats or tricks someone by gaining their
Trust and persuading them to believe something that is not true.
Look at that.
You're
man.
Abu. You're Abu. You're Abu.
Perfectly described
Umi.
that. Your entire family for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, like okay, and this was part of that. The 15-minute video, he's like, wasn't he getting a critique on the 48
This is 48 Laws of Power? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a book it's a well-known book. It gives all these manipulation tactics in it. And like you said, it is for like if you want to know how to manipulate people, manipulate situations. There's a lot of tactics in there. But you can Google it and you can see all 48 tactics. So I urge all of you guys to go ahead and Google it. Go on your phones, Google it, and look through some of those, and you'll see very clearly some of the tactics that Mubarak Jelani and currently now Noor and the Shura Council that they do to manipulate and control the members of TMOA. I mean, it's just so clear. Like that's how you know that these people, like Mubarak Jelani, lived 2 different lives. there was the Mubarak Jalani, who's the sixth Sultan, the Mujaddid of the century, the Morshid Kamil. That face was only for TMOA members. Only people, only in America. Those are only people that knew that. In Pakistan, around all the other people in Pakistan, he wasn't that guy. In his own family, he wasn't that guy. In his own household, he wasn't that guy. They just he didn't teach his kids anything, right? He has no clue about how the Jamaat operates, what's going on, what are even his father's teachings.
Yeah.
I bet you if we sat him down and say, hey, what does your father believe about XYZ? He wouldn't be able to tell you. Or he'll say something that
he had to be sent to Azhar to learn his religion. I mean, so I mean, he couldn't learn it. He didn't learn it from his father. So,
yeah. And if you know anything about just the Jelani family overseas, and all the like doctrines and stuff and the codes and conducts you have to follow in the Jamaat for everyone a part of it, like, you know, the not movies, no jeans, yada yada yada, every like rule and set in place for the people in the Jamaat. None of that happened overseas for his kids. So all the things that he forbade for your kids to do, everything, literally everything you can think of that was like wrong for your kids to do, he was like, it's fine, y'all can do this here. My kids can. So I mean, Mubarak Jelani really, like, he as Jafar said, like, he's kind of like a schizophrenic, I guess. He has like multiple personalities. He's on this front, he's super Sheikh so and so, and then for his family, he just is like, there goes Abu just saying things again.
and people need to, like, from the time that Mubarak Jelani passed away, people should have started waking up and seeing the reality of things, because when you grow up on this side and not knowing what goes on, especially for people that's never been over there, you think that Mubarak Jelani is like some kind of like world renowned scholar, respected in the Ummah, has like followers all over the place. For people that kept up that belief, when you seen his janazah, you should have realized that he was literally a nobody, right? There was no big like shit. There's within the last year, there's been several notable sheikhs that have passed away. May Allah forgive them, may Allah bless them, and Allah may continue their teachings and let them get the reward for all that. Thousands of people going to their janazas, all
20,
over social media.
100,000, just thousands of people. And listen, these people were not claiming to be mujaddids of the century. They weren't claiming to be, you know, anything, you know, super duper. They were shuyukh, they were sheikhs who had students and who benefited the people, and those people who were touched by, their lives were touched by these shuyukh, they came to their janazah. They came out, and they came out in the thousands. Some of these shuyukh, they had 100,000 people at their janazah. I mean, Jelani had a handful of people. Half those people were just there because it was at a shrine. I mean, there were more flies there buzzing around his face than TMOA members.
If you look at Sheikh Yusuf Qaradawi, who wrote many books over the last, you know, his lifetime that we've all benefited from, and even if you don't recognize his name, I'm pretty sure if you studied Islam, you've read one of his books or something from his book. He recently passed away, and if you just Google like his janazah, thousands of people, it couldn't fit in there to do the janazah. How many people's there? If you look at Mubarak Jelani's janazah, you see just random strangers. It's like, oh, look, there's a janazah here. Maybe like 30, 40 people that were not his talibs, that were not part of the Jamaat. You see a few of his family members, his kids there. You see no Jamaat members from America there, right? This is y'all shit. From that point on, you guys just the thing, your mind should start like, wait, why isn't there people from Africa there? Why isn't there people from Pakistan, England, and all these other countries that followed the Sheikh? Why aren't they all there? Why aren't we all coming together? And then you look now, all the things that's transpired since he's passed away, since we've been speaking out. The veil has been lifted, and it's there for you guys to look at in plain view to see that this is all a fraud.
Yeah.
These are regular people. And I kind of feel a little bad for the kids because they just were born into this, and this is what they know. Like, they know that their father was rich and he had money, and now that was it.
Yeah.
And he's this respected sheikh. That's all they know. They weren't really taught anything Islamically. They were kept isolated. They probably don't know what real life is, right? But then once they start going outside the box and learning real Islam, learning what the real world is, I'm hoping at least one of them has the guts to say, you know what, this stuff that happened isn't right. Maybe it will be Noor. Maybe it will be the alleged seventh sultan. He'll say, yeah, I'm not the seventh sultan. That's a bunch of bullcrap. I'm not the Mahdi. I'm just a regular Muslim. I'm not A1 top shelf Muslim, but I'm doing my best. And we all need to do our best. And we need to abandon the falsehood and follow what's right. Maybe he'll be the one, inshallah.
Yep.
Allah knows best. But all you people, stop sacrificing yourselves. Stop sacrificing your families. Stop breaking family ties. Stop going against the law. And stop, because you guys are the ones that are keeping this going. Noor just said, y'all, she's broke. At least for y'all, helping y'all.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's
take care of
just-
you and your family.
Yeah. And to like piggyback off of Jaffar's point about how, when his kids do leave and they actually learn about Islam in some capacity at all, right? So we saw this with Ashrafat, who quickly recanted his statements after he was given a little change from Noor. When Jafar was talking to Shafat on Facebook, right, he was asking about the Seven Sultan beliefs and all the teachings of his father. Shafat was like, I have found no evidence for this in the Quran or the Sunnah, right? So right then and there, Shafat had refuted his father. He refuted the Seven Sultans and all the things that his father stood upon, right? But unfortunately, he quickly two-faced himself and was like, oh, Noor, can give me money? I'm right here. I'm going to wrap the turban around you, brother-in-law, and we're all good. So I would hope that, and obviously, I don't think Noor's ever going to like, and I could be wrong, but I don't think Noor's going to like go out and just like, oh, my father was wrong and my ummy's wrong. I don't see that happening, but Allah knows best. But
what's interesting is that Shafat is he spoke out, he condemned the Seven Sultan belief, right? Refuted his father, and he's actually got pretty liberal views because he's like an LGBT supporter,
trans rights activist.
So if you got something like that to say, oh yeah, this isn't part of Islam, then you really know it's pretty messed up belief,
Yeah, it's funny. He made a tight turn, a 180. Like, he was in our ear talking about, Noor doesn't practice Islam, Seven Sultans is false, yada yada yada. And then felt like the next day he was wrapping the turban on a new Seven Sultan. I'm like, wow. So I don't know. I wouldn't count on Shafat to be the one to speak out or stay on
unless it's a bag involved.
Maybe,
There's a bag involved, maybe.
If I was gonna hitch my wagon to any one of them, I think Noor would be the one. I think he'll be the one to tell him the truth, and maybe he can lead him to the right way.
And you know what? We told them this years ago when we, because people don't know that we reached out to them directly multiple times to try to give them dawah, to try to call them to what's right. They ignore us, they damn us to hell and all that. But
Wait. I just remember what Noor said to you when you messaged him. Oh yeah, Allah. Okay, so in case anyone missed this, right? So Jafar was in
right now, brother.
Yes. yeah. So Jafar he made a group chat with Noor, all of his brothers. He sent them a document about the Seven Sultans, how it's wrong, it's like that, and getting them to refute it, right? And so Noor, right, he responded to Jafar. He's like, I know who you are. You're that Salafi guy, right? Jafar, whatever. My father warned me about you. You're that man, right? And Jafar was like, he gave salams. Noor didn't respond to salams, and Jafar gave him a quote about like how a hadith about how you have to, turn salams Muslims, right? And Noor's exact words to Jafar was, "You love quoting those Quran hadiths, don't you?" And then he followed that up with "right in hell, brother." It ended it like so.
I don't know that I have ever in my life said to another person, Muslim, non-Muslim, anyone. to tell them to rot in hell.
No. But
that is heavy, man.
it's my hell brother.
It doesn't even.
That goes.
It doesn't make sense. How are you gonna call him a brother?
Well,
Oh,
according to
no.
one of his videos, he's supposed to be like this spiritualist.
Yeah,
That goes
yeah,
all
yeah.
against the whole spiritualist kumbaya
Yeah,
religion that you're promoting.
Yeah, where's the joint? Is that maybe that might have been the
It might have been a long video. We might have
He's
to do
a
like
spiritualist, a spiritualist, and he's calling and he's calling himself a spiritualist, and he is basically lumping spiritualists and some other non-Muslim spiritual, guru group or whatever, all in like kind of like one pot. Like all of us spiritualists should do something or have some sort of thought. I mean, that's I think he's quite confused. I don't think he believes that he's the seventh sultan or that or much of Islam for that matter, just based on what he's saying. But I think he's trying. I think he's asking some questions. Inshallah, he'll get there.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Doesn't look like we have any questions.
Nope,
so.
I think we're good. Unless you guys want to go over the shirk poetry.
No, that's gonna take. Let's save that for 2 weeks because there's a lot of stuff in there. So we'll next 2 weeks we're gonna talk about. We have the Jamaat's I don't know what to call it, poetry songbook or historical songbook. Jamaat favorite song nasheeds or something.
TMOA's favorite nasheeds. All right, revised for 2020. All right, and it has it's 42 pages and all of it is transcribed so that we can go through find a fi shake. Ya Rasul, take my hand. Ya Jilani, Shah Jilani, guide us wherever you are. So we can go through these various songs we have here. And there's like 15 songs. So we'll do that in two weeks. And inshallah, that'll go.
It's funny, just real quick, just a little preview is when I went through it. So one, we're gonna of course talk about the shirk and innovation, but what's amazing is that when we go through it and you'll see like you'll hear people in TMOA say stuff like, oh, I don't believe in that, I don't know what you're talking about, the seven sultans. When you look at the lyrics of these songs, it's all through all these songs.
Jaffer's muted. If you go through the lyrics of it, it's all through the songs. Like they say Sultan 52 times inside of this entire like text document we have of the TMOA nasheeds, and there's a whole song about just like the Sultan, and it says something like the Sultan is like the Rabbi or something. It's really just it's really clear as day. You can't really deny this because these are the songs and nasheeds that have been sung at every Eid, the Milad, all that stuff, Jilani's birthday. So you can't really deny that at all. I've heard these songs growing up. And Jaffer, you okay?
Yeah, that's my son. He's
okay.
Sick.
Okay.
He's being a baby.
So I've heard these songs for 15, 16 years, and it was revised in 2020. So they have updated now for the seventh Sultan, I would assume, or Noor, or whoever is in between. All right. So
all right, well, I'm gonna let you think we ought to let you close it out. Well, we might need you to open and close this out because you're losing your powers as number one.
I know. I'm falling down the rankings, bro. I don't know what I gotta do, man. I think I don't know, man. You guys just have me just on this show where I just go wild on Team Away, all right?
Number one. You was number one. You rose up the ranks, but I mean, you slipping. So you need to.
I haven't been working on my game, man. I've been practicing instead of on my Islamic knowledge. On the AMU website, we're working on my knowledge course. Instead of
you be having those James Harden type off season. Just no
just show up that out of shape.
Yeah.
It's all like game time. Yeah, every 2 weeks I'm just up like game time. Try to get the rust off. But yeah, no, I'm gonna have to work on my game so I can get back on my spot. Number one, bro. I was Giannis for a while now.
He came back like Zion Williams last year. Gained like 50 pounds.
Gumbo's over here too good, y'all. No. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Listen,
All right.
in 2 weeks from now, whenever we do the like shirk songs, I got y'all. All right. I'm
right.
a reclaim my spot, inshallah. All right.
All right.
All right. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim.